Hello, and welcome to the Guide to AAIC series. These guides are meant to help you put your best foot forward with your AAIC submission and to also help optimize your AAIC experience. In this webinar today, we're going to be speaking about poster presentations at AAIC. And really what we're going to be discussing is putting this poster together, some things that you could be considering or thinking about. So as you are building out your poster, there are three things to be considering. First is deciding your aims and your audience. Second is to plan your content and design your poster. And three is to promote your poster. And we'll be discussing all three of these today. And we will also be talking about some logistics around your poster at AAIC. So thinking about our aim, these are a few questions that you could ask yourself when you're considering what your aim of having this poster would be. My aim is to get feedback on the latest results, to inform a wider audience about my work, develop my data visualization skills, impress the potential postdoc supervisor. This first step is really helping to decide that aim and your target audience. Your poster does not have to be all things to all people, and it's really fine and okay to focus on a particular aim and a particular audience. So what audience do you need to reach and achieve your goal? You can have various focuses from basic science to dementia care, various career stages to help achieve that goal, different settings, whether that's university, industry, clinician, nonprofit, or country. And this is something to really consider in this virtual format. Your audience could be hundreds of people, but it also could be really two very specific people that you have in mind. Again, if that aim was to really impress a certain audience. So the first step is to really consider these potential audiences when we're thinking about our aim and also thinking about what we could share with them. What could the audience offer you in terms of feedback, expertise, and connections? And what could your poster offer the audience? And remember, the audience isn't confined to conference attendees. You could reach out to an individual with a copy of your poster and discuss your poster on social media. So now that we've decided on our aim and our audience, now we can begin to plan our content and design the poster. So in a sentence, what does your audience need to know or remember about your poster? That should really be that take-home message of around 50 words. If somebody's walking past, what do you want them to remember about your work? And then you also need to think about what sections and subsections you need. So think back to that audience that you initially had come up with based on your aim, and think about how long they're likely going to spend reading your poster and how much detail they may be interested in. If you're reaching out to people outside of your field of research, then focus on the big picture. Avoid acronyms or assuming that they know too much knowledge, so you can really shorten that background information. But if you're reaching out to experts in your field, you can assume they have a certain level of knowledge. You can use that more technical language. If you're trying to impress a supervisor, some things you can do is remember to cite their work in your background and references, and also include your LinkedIn page and website or email address on the contact details on your poster in case you're not around when somebody's looking at it during the meeting. You may also want a dedicated section for your take-home message or a summary, so it's easily digestible for a viewer who's not spending a ton of time reading the posters. So those are some things to break it down into. First, deciding on our take-home message, then break your content into sections and subsections, draft and review your content that you want to put on it, and then sketch a design for your poster before filling in all the details. So here's a few examples of ways to lay out your poster so that individuals, when they're walking past, can easily look at your poster content and understand what you're trying to share. So for AAIC, we do have templates that you are able to use, and you can download them on your virtual platform. You do not have to use the templated posters, but it is an option if you would like. Here's one example where you can see the take-home message is very clear in the middle of this, and that is to really draw the eye of the viewer to the take-home message. And you can see through the columns we have introduction, methods, results, conclusions, references, and that clear contact information as well. That's one option of a layout. Here's another one where there's more background information, a larger take-home message in the corner. You can really make this what you want it to look like and fill it out however you would like. These again are just template options, but you can use whatever works best for your content. So when we're thinking about the content in the poster, many of these categories and many of these posters are going to fall into three different categories, and really thinking about the content that we put into the poster and what we should be considering with this poster. So you want to make sure the poster is understandable. Your goal is to pass your knowledge to the audience. The content should include necessary details and review terminology. There should be there could be a verbal delivery, so definitely try and speak clearly and try not to rush, either if you're in person or that virtual recording. And make sure it's also visually appealing as well. Make sure the font size is big enough, there's enough space, and there's enough bullet points to make sure that your poster is understandable to the audience walking past. You also want to make sure it's understandable in content. You want to make sure it's understandable in delivery. And we also want to make sure it's engaging. You want to attract and maintain your audience's attention. And some ways that you can do this is creating content that avoids unnecessary details, emphasis on what's interesting and why. Make sure that you are trying to be enthusiastic and confident when you're speaking, and this can come from practice. So if you're not enthusiastic, then maybe practice a few times so you really feel confident in your presenting. Also be sure that when you're delivering the poster, especially if you're in person, body language is great to think about, and make sure the graphic design also is very engaging. And finally, make sure that your poster is applicable and it can have an impact on the audience. So the best presentations impact the audience. They change the way the audience thinks or works. You can do this by emphasizing your take-home message, and you can also do this with a call to action if that's applicable. Recommend them to read a certain manuscript or share feedback, and so really make sure that is something you're trying to get through this poster. No one gets their poster presentation right every time, and every time we present is a new opportunity to get into the right habits and improve over time. So definitely practice as you've formed your poster and you're getting ready to give this presentation at AAIC. And finally, definitely make sure that you gain feedback. You can send it to a colleague or practice with your lab. Those are some ways to get more engaged and more feedback as well. And finally, we've come up with our aims and our audience, planned our content, and designed the poster. Now you're ready to promote your poster. So you can post it on social media. You can just say, check out my AAIC poster at this time, or you can go on the virtual platform and see my poster. You could suggest it as a newsletter item or a blog post at your university. You can email it to an individual. You can ask others to help promote. You can team up with others to visit and comment on posters and really invite them to view yours as well. There are a lot of posters at the conference, so you definitely want to help share it out there to make sure yours is able to stand out and you get that audience that you are looking for based on your aim. Now for a little bit of logistics, please always check the abstract submission platform for details of your poster presentation. Virtual poster presenters are required to upload a digital poster, and in-person poster presenters are encouraged to provide a digital poster but are not required. This digital poster could be just a PDF of your poster, but really would encourage a virtual poster recording. When you're recording this virtual poster, definitely begin by introducing yourself and highlighting that take-home message. Then you can either provide an overview of the poster or concentrate on one particular aspect of the poster during this video recording. Then when you finish this 3-minute short overview of your poster, close by thanking the viewer, restating your take-home message, and providing a call to action, whether that's providing feedback or checking out a manuscript or something else. This poster recording is a great way for virtual attendees to really hear from you about your poster. Again, if you're virtual only, please upload your PDF and this poster recording. And if you're in person, this would be recommended but not required. And finally, looking at the in-person posters. In-person posters will be displayed in the exhibit hall. There will be a detailed email with in-person instructions sent to you, along with your assigned poster board number before AAIC. There is a maximum poster dimension, and that will be shared with you in your acceptance email. You can use the AAIC poster template, but it is not required, and one will be available for you on the abstract submission platform. Either a fabric, paper, card, or cardstock posters are permitted. In-person posters are assigned a day and a board number. So that could be Sunday 145. That means your poster is on Sunday and you are poster number 145. You may set up your poster beginning at 7:30 a.m. local time on the day of your poster presentation. You cannot set it up the day before. Presenters are asked to stand at their poster board during the designated poster viewing time, but you are also welcome to stand at your poster any other time during the meeting. At the end of the day, you must remove your poster by 4:15 p.m. local time on the day of your presentation. If they're not removed, the team will have to remove them for you. We do also have a photo policy, and there are stickers at the poster information desk that you can use on your poster if you choose. Red if pictures are not permitted, yellow if they're permitted for personal use, and green if pictures can be taken and shared. Push pins will also be available for all poster presentations. So in summary, as you're thinking about the poster, be sure to think about your aims and your audience, plan your content, design your poster, and be sure to promote your poster. We really look forward to seeing all of your work presented at AAIC. Thank you very much.